In this video, I'm going to teach you a really easy way to use your sewing machine to fix the rip in the inseam of your jeans. Stay tuned to the end where I give you some quick tips showing you how to preserve your denim for longer. Hi guys, I'm Alexa, author of Sewing for Kids, and this is my channel, Alexa Teach Me How to Sew. The goal is to teach you how to sew while making cute and trendy projects. If you're interested in that, please like and subscribe. Start by gathering your materials. You're going to need a pair of jeans that have a rip in them, a scrap of material similar to the pants that you're fixing. If your pants have stretch in them, you might want to find something with a little bit of stretch. And you want to get as close to the color as possible. My color stands out a little bit, but that's because I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. A sewing machine and thread. The thread color should match your pants. Pins and a pin cushion, a pen or pencil or some kind of fabric marker, a pair of fabric scissors, and a ruler. Clean up your rip. If there's any frayed or loose threads, you're going to want to cut those off now. Next, you're going to measure your hole, and mine is 3 inches by 1 1/4 inches. You're going to add 2 to both of those measurements. For example, I'm going to add 2 inches to both those measurements, getting 5 inches by 3 1/4 inches. Now I'm going to draw on my scrap fabric a rectangle that's 5 by 3 1/4 inches. And I'm going to cut it out. You'll notice that my fabric is a little bit thinner, so I'm going to use 2 layers of scrap for this patch. Go over to your sewing machine and turn on a zigzag stitch. For me, that's stitch 4. And you're going to zigzag around the outside of this patch that you're making. This is going to prevent your patch from fraying. We're going to get our pants back out and flip them inside out. As best as you can, lay your rip flat on the table, get your pins ready, and lay your patch over the opening. I see my fabric wearing a little bit on the other side, so I'm going to actually use my patch to go over that wearing as well. And I notice I want to cut off this corner of my patch so it doesn't go over all the seams. So I'm going to cut off that corner and then zigzag that as well. Feel free to adjust your patch to fit better at this point. I'm going to safety pin my patch on the inside of my pants, and then I'm going to flip it over to the outside, and then you're going to pin in place from the outside. Get rid of any bunching as you go. Making sure as you pin that you're feeling the other fabric underneath and you're pinning it all down. My fabric goes all the way to here. Remove your safety pin. We're going to sew a rectangle around the hole, and then we're going to sew over the patch in one direction back and forth, and then the other direction back and forth. Make sure when you put your fabric in that you're only sewing over the patch and the outside fabric. This is going to take a lot of adjusting as you go. So I'm starting by taking out my first pin, and I'm going to switch my stitches back to 0, 0, but if you have stretch fabric, you can leave it on zigzag. As you sew, feel the edge of the patch that you're putting in here. Make sure that you're sewing inside of it the whole time. I'm going to remove my next pin and adjust my fabric. We just completed sewing the box, and now I'm going to make sure that I'm on zigzag, and I'm going to zigzag a zigzag pattern back and forth in between the box. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start in this corner, and I'm going to back stitch a zigzag all the way till I get to the other corner. Pivot and sew forward till I hit the other side of my box. Pivot again. I'm going to stitch forward this time. Lift up my presser foot. Presser foot back down. Back stitch. Pivot. Stitch forward. And continue this back and forth, zigzagging, covering the opening and the patch. The reason why we're zigzagging this and not using a straight stitch is because it covers more fabric and really reinforces the strength of the denim. And now we're going to do a bigger pivot and sew back and forth long ways. I got to the other side and I'm going to back stitch the whole way back, checking again that no other fabric is bunched under. I'm going to lift and pivot a little bit more and stitch all the way the other way. Once again, pivot slightly, stitch all the way back. And I'm going to stitch forward one more time. Then I'm going to go around and stitch all the way around my opening just to reinforce that. So I'm going to pivot, sew up to my opening, and continue to pivot until I go all the way around. I backstitched, I take out my fabric, and I cut my threads. You might notice that you didn't sew all the way up to the edge of the fabric, and that's okay. You can cut this excess off, or you can go back in and sew up to it if you want that extra reinforcement. Check your work and make sure you don't want to fix anything. You can see now why you'd want your threads to be a closer match to your fabric, but it's good that you can see all of this. And now you're done. No more hole. Now you can wear these pants again. This type of fix doesn't have to be pretty. The messier, the better. It looks cool like this, and if it's in your inseam or somewhere hidden, you're not gonna see the fix anyway. It stinks when your pants rip, but if this is happening to you, there are some things we can do to prolong the life of our jeans. The first thing you could do is, if there's a spot that you know always rips, you can iron or sew on a patch before the rip, and this will help preserve the pants for longer. Before you buy, think about what kind of denim you're buying, because that really does make a difference on how long your jeans are gonna last. If it's a thinner denim, a washed denim, a distressed denim, or any denims that have been softened, the fabric will wear faster. So when purchasing denim, buy a stronger, more durable fabric, and that kind of fabric should last a long time. And lastly, the more you wash your denim, the faster it's going to wear. So if you don't have to wash it, don't. For any visible stains, you can spot clean. And for jeans that don't look dirty, you can just freeze them. What you can do is put them in a Ziploc bag, stick them in the freezer for 24 hours, and this will kill bacteria. Thank you for watching this video. I'd love to hear what projects and skills you'd like to see next from me, so you can leave those in the comments below. And if you enjoyed it, make sure you like and subscribe. Lift up your presser foot. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to fix a rip in your sewing machine,